Hey, I'm Paul from Retail Meltdown. I've been working in retail for over 6 years, and trust me, I've seen a lot. If this video helps you feel seen, or if you've been there too, give it a like and hit subscribe, so more people can understand what retail life is really like.
Have you ever asked yourself why you keep giving more at work, staying longer, covering shifts, and pushing through, and yet nothing really changes for you? In retail, hard work and loyalty are supposed to lead somewhere. Safety, stability, progress. That's the promise most people believe in when they stay committed. But for many retail workers, the harder they work, the heavier the job becomes, without the rewards ever catching up. This video is about why that happens. Not emotionally, not morally, structurally. Retail is a system where effort grows faster than reward. And once that balance breaks, working harder doesn't protect you. It slowly drains you. If you work in retail and this question feels uncomfortably familiar, I'd honestly appreciate it if you like this video. Not as a favor, but because this conversation should reach people who are living this every day. Most retail workers start with the same assumption. If I work hard, if I'm reliable, if I stay loyal, I'll be okay. Maybe not rich, maybe not fast, but safe. That belief makes sense. It's how work is supposed to function. But retail doesn't operate on individual fairness. It operates on systems. Here is the central mechanism you need to understand. Retail is built in a way where effort scales faster than reward. There is a well-established concept in work psychology called effort-reward imbalance. You don't need to remember the name, what matters is the logic. Stress becomes damaging not when people work hard, but when the effort they invest no longer leads to proportional returns. Returns don't just mean money, they mean control over your work, predictability, real recognition, and the sense that effort actually changes outcomes. Retail gradually breaks that connection. In retail, effort is highly visible. Staying late, fixing problems, absorbing customer pressure, covering gaps when staffing is tight. The system registers all of that immediately. But rewards are capped. Pay structures are rigid. Decision power is limited. Staffing levels are usually outside your control. So the system adapts in the only way it can. It shifts more pressure toward the people who already proved they can handle it. This is where many people misunderstand what's happening to them. They think they're being trusted, and they are. But trust in a system is not protection, it's allocation. Pressure is allocated to where it causes the least immediate disruption. If you are competent, reliable, and calm under stress, pressure flows toward you. Not because anyone wants to exploit you personally, but because it keeps operations stable. Over time, something subtle but dangerous happens. What used to feel like extra effort becomes normal effort. What used to feel exceptional becomes expected. Because this change is gradual, people adapt instead of questioning it. Adaptation feels like resilience, but adaptation without reward is not strength, it's exposure. This is why burnout in retail often doesn't look dramatic. People don't collapse, they don't explode. They slowly lose energy, patience, and long-term perspective. The job doesn't break them suddenly, it erodes them. Loyalty plays a critical role in this process. Loyalty feels like a moral choice. You don't want to let your team down. You don't want to be difficult. You don't want to cause problems. So, you compensate. You take on tasks that shouldn't be yours. You absorb stress that should be structural. And because things keep running, the system interprets this as proof that the setup works. This is the trap. Your effort hides the imbalance instead of fixing it. If you know someone in retail who is always the one saying, "It's fine, I'll handle it," consider sharing this video with them. Not to criticize them, but to give them context. I genuinely appreciate that, because these patterns stay invisible as long as people only experience them alone. Another important part of this system is how it rewards overcommitment early on. People who care deeply, who take responsibility seriously, often receive more trust, more tasks, more informal authority. That feels like progress. But informal authority without real control doesn't reduce stress. It increases it. You become responsible for outcomes you cannot fully influence, and psychologically, that is exhausting. Human beings need effort to lead to resolution. When it doesn't, the nervous system stays activated in the background. That's why people feel tired even on their days off. This is also why just pushing a little longer rarely works. Pushing doesn't rebalance the system, it deepens the imbalance. The system doesn't read pushing as a signal to change, it reads it as capacity. Eventually, many people turn this inward. They think they're not resilient enough,
not motivated enough, not grateful enough. A structural problem gets internalized as a personal failure. That's one of the most damaging effects of this kind of work environment. Let me be very clear. If you feel drained, detached, or cynical, that does not mean you are failing. In many cases, it means the system is functioning exactly as designed.
So what does this imply for you? First, working harder is not a solution once effort and reward are out of balance. It only increases how much you're expected to carry. Second, loyalty without leverage does not create security. In retail, security comes from roles being fillable, not from people being loyal. Third, if your increased effort has not led to structural improvements, more control, fair compensation, reduced strain, the pattern is unlikely to change on its own. This does not mean you have to quit tomorrow, but it does mean you need to stop telling yourself comforting stories. Awareness is not action, but it is the prerequisite for choice. If this explanation helps you see your situation more clearly, I'd honestly like you to subscribe. Not because I'll give you answers, but because this channel exists to explain systems people are usually expected to endure without explanation. One of the quietest costs of retail work is how it shrinks your time horizon. You stop thinking in years, you start thinking in weeks, in shifts, in schedules. Planning feels like a luxury. That isn't accidental. Constant urgency keeps people reactive. Reactive people don't reassess their trajectory. Understanding this doesn't make you negative, it makes you precise. Hard work is not the problem. Loyalty is not the problem. Staying in a system where effort no longer changes outcomes and pretending it eventually will is the problem. If effort doesn't improve your position, it only increases your tolerance for imbalance. And tolerance always has a limit. If this video put words to something you felt for a long time, I'd genuinely appreciate it if you share it with one person in retail. One honest conversation can interrupt years of quiet self-blame. Retail doesn't reward loyalty. It rewards stability. And stability is maintained by people who keep absorbing more than they get back. Once you understand that, the system loses some of its power over you. Thank you for listening.